Hello, I thought I'd give you an update on two slow stitching projects that I have been working on. I have been working on the Dear Jane book by Brenda, Mangas, Papadakis. This is a book that's out of print and it has 225 patterns from 1863. So I worked up to about this point where the red marker is. But I had to go back because I skipped a couple that I didn't know how to do. And I've since have figured out how to work through some of these patterns that are just line drawings. And this particular one is called Starlight Starbright. That was the block I worked on this week. And you can see the line drawings in the book, and this is a 13 Starlight Starbright. Yep, that's not much information right there on how to put this block together. I chose a little bit different colorway, and I'm using the electric quilt program, EQ8, for foundation paper piecing. It's an add-on for the EQ8, and it makes it to where you can come up with the right sizes for these tiny little pieces. So here is my version, and you can see where the trouble lies is that this is a curved piece. So you piece these curves first. Then I did the center, and it was several sessions of 15 to 20 minutes, and I got the little block done. I think it's one of the blocks that I'm really proud of. I took lots of seams apart. I took my time, and I made an error at first of not making these white, but I kind of like it. So let's just review. I have almost the A row and B row finished. There is the blue. This one actually went together pretty well. I cut the pieces out, used glue stick that is washable with the orange peels and diamonds, and then appliqued them. It's funny how orange peels go. You can't always quite get them 100%. If I glued them on with a fusible, even then I've looked at other people's. This one was hard because it's all diagonal seams from here to here. So that was a new skill. Each block is a new skill. Each block has its challenges. And then I love blue and white, so I did a couple in blue and white. This is the very first one. The points are supposed to be clipped off, and the center is as good as I can get it. I'm all right with that. Hey, where'd that string come from? If you are a quilter or so, you know. And here are the two with the purple magenta theme. Here is magenta theme and red theme. I like this with the skinny strips. So I haven't taken the paper off of this one yet. I am going to remove all of the papers before I put them together. Here's a nice one. It's interesting how she does a couple of them with similar themes and then makes variations on the arrows going out, and then a more difficult setting and an easier setting. Just fun to get these out every once in a while and look at a couple of rows at a time. These are super slow stitching projects, and what I like about these is they take up so much time, so much brain space, and yet you are proud of yourself when you're done. I've learned a skill on every block, and it's something that's been on my bucket list for a long time. Even the simple, even though this is rectangular, 9-patch. So the Dear Jane book, this was printed quite a few years ago. Let's look at the copyright date. Because I think this book is out of print now. It was It was printed in 1996. So that's where I've seen this book for over 20 years, and it inspired me. As you can tell, I am using old-fashioned looking fabrics in bright colors with a lot of white background. I think I'm going to try to do these they look very challenging, these sashing triangles. I am not going to do the curved. So that's my slow stitching project. Since I talked to you last, I did one block and it took me hours, and I'm very proud of it. But then I've also spent hours doing another slow stitching project. It's not a UFO. It's not been abandoned. It's just a slow project. And let me adjust the camera for that. This project is hand stitching, and I like having hand stitch, slow stitching projects. They make slow process. There, I said it. You look at this and you're like, what in the heck have you done? Well, this I made last year, January through about August. Each hexagon flower with, I have gray spacers in here, represents the temperature, the high temperature for 1 week of the year. This is going to be this is my first hexagon, first English paper piece project. I have a Cricut, and I've been cutting out the shapes on cardstock. And let's look at it a little bigger. This represents the weather, and you can tell it was really cold. There's lots of blue, but we did have a spattering of warm days throughout the summer. I'm not putting them in chronological order because then it would be boring. All blue, all orange, all yellow type of a thing. But here we are. Slow but sure, I finished 3 rows, and I'm halfway through the 4th row on the bottom here of adding hexagons, flowers. So there'll be 2 more flowers added, and you can tell that I'm really proud of this. And it's going to be just a table runner or some sort of wall hanging. I haven't figured out how to finish the edges. Not sure if I'm going to applique them or add more half hexies to try to have a straight edge and just sew it on. I'm learning as I go. This has been probably 18 months worth of work so far, and it's tiny. But I love it, and this is a way to start slowly to learn how to do a project, learning how to English paper piece, learning how to put them together, and eventually I want to learn how to do more fussy cutting and how to take English paper piecing to the next level in my skill set. And sometimes you got to pick a really hard project like Dear Jane to push you to go through this learning that you may be resisting. That's what I'm finding. I need a challenge to push me through and motivate me to work on something really hard, and then I come out on the other side going, yeah, that was so worth it, even during the pandemic, because I have nothing but time in the evening to sit and hand stitch all winter in normal years. And now in the summer is coming, and we're going to be home a lot more, and I'm making a hexagon temperature quilt. So has any of you worked on English paper piecing, or have you made a Dear Jane? Drop some tips in the comments, because I could sure use all the help, all of the tips and tricks that I can get. Here's the last look at the temperature quilt. Yeah, it's small. Those are 1-inch hexagons. Everyone have a most wonderful week. Stay safe, be creative, and quilt on, everyone.